What's up, everybody? It's your girl Ericka from the Classy Climb blog, and today we're dealing with overcoming rejection. I know it's a heavy one. You're like, "Whoa, Ericka, where's that coming from?" But I have to. A lot of you are stuck because you're scared that people in your life and your local community will reject you. If you could, hop in the chat and drop your city and state. Let us know where you're coming from. We would love knowing so that we can plan our events accordingly. All this summer will be in the West Coast, so don't be surprised we pop up on the West Coast. Coming this week to the channel, I think on Monday, we have a California update from one of your favorite California folks. They're going to be loving the channel. I know the California folks want some positivity, so I'm bringing it to them. Also have somebody from New York coming on the channel next week, bringing you some New York positivity because I know you guys asked for some positivity. So listen, drop that city and state in here, hit the like button. Help me fight Skynet by dropping the like in here. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, who are you? Ericka Williams, 6-figure YouTuber, managed $2 million in assets. But the better question there, who are you? And a lot of times people say, oh, little old me, common old me, nobody knows me. Don't do that. If you don't like you, if you aren't confident in you, why should anybody else be? I started talking about this past couple of weeks about the vortex of abundance. And a lot of people have already convinced themselves there's not enough men, there's not enough women, there's not enough opportunity, there's not enough jobs. And that's a terrible, terrible way to live, right? So listen, there's kind of 4 principles I want to break down. You guys forgive me, I am sick, so I'm trying my hardest to finish this out and go home for the day. Number one thing I really want to talk about is how to deal with rejection. For a lot of us, this starts in high school, this starts in middle school, this starts in elementary, where we're the odd kid or this kid or the joke kid or whatever. And that people carry that with them in their adult life. I was bullied so bad at one point, they moved me to all AP classes where I was just acing the classes. Before that, my mom moved me out of that school and put me in a private Christian school where I learned to play golf and tennis, which didn't help with the bullying, right? Unless you're carrying a racket on racket day. What you have to understand is people are not going to like you. And we have to teach our children and our family members how to deal with rejection. Every day I used to talk to people, some of my friends, and they'd be at a job where nobody likes them. Everybody hates them. And I remember going to work one day and I just did not want to be there because the ladies did not like me. And my manager, who's also a woman, just goes, well, Ericka, you just got to get along to get along. Instead of going, hey, that behavior wasn't appropriate earlier. We have a society that's forcing people to get along just to get along with people they should have no business doing so. I know people right now who are brilliant. It could be brilliant in another environment, but they're still in their same hometown. They're still little Jimmy, little Billy Bob, little Josie, little Shaniqua, when they could have moved on with their life and had a whole new identity. Now, do I need everybody to move out of their hometown? Heck no. 88% of people, according to the IRS, still live 1 hour from their mother. This is the IRS. They know where you live. You dropping them taxes, you paying with your debit card, you're only an hour from your mother. So some people have moved away, right? But if you don't ever learn how to deal with rejection, you can't grow as a person. Now, I'm going to say something, and you guys are going to get on me again. I already know. And I'm okay with that. A lot of what you see here on the internet where people are frustrated, and you ask them, is that happening to you? Are women treating you like that? Oh, no, I've never asked a woman out. Oh, I'm just kicking it. I'm just hanging. I don't have any girlfriends. And when I hear that, what I hear is a 14 to 15-year-old stunted, arrested development person who's scared of rejection. When I hear women who haven't been in a relationship for years saying some of the same stuff, but in reverse, it's the same thing. You're scared of rejection. You cannot live a full functional adult life without rejection, without resistance. A dead fish can float downstream. A dead fish, you'll be like, oh my God, it's a dead fish. Dead fish can float downstream. They cannot float upstream. You will not coast your way to more opportunity. Even the guys who have a lot of money and women come their way, even they have to have relationship skills to keep the relationship. A really great person that's super honest about this is Lewis Howes. Now, I make a joke, not very lightly, that sometimes you meet tall men and they have no personality. Because all they've ever had to be their whole life is tall. And women are like, woohoo, you're tall, right? And Lewis Howes said he realized he had struggles that he needed to fix and work on. And that it wasn't the women he was dating, it was him. And it takes a lot for people to even get to that point, and even more for a person who's rich to get to that point. Because they're rich now. They're like, I don't care. You can get on out of here. But that's the problem. If you never deal with rejection, if you never deal with a course correction, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going home after this. I'm going straight home. If you never deal with any correction, if you never deal with anybody kind of coaching you, how can you get better? I talked with Diamond Dave earlier. We had a really great conversation on the other channel about Dogecoin and stocks. But he was saying, I looked at people in Florida and they were on the beach. And I said, man, it's a lot of out of shape people here on the beach, man. It's crazy. Like, it's all kind of people out here living their best life. And he said, you know what? You can live close to the beach and 10 years will go by and you haven't done anything in your life any different. People just lose years of their life living in beach towns. And I started laughing, but I know that's true. I have friends who went to college at UNCW, which is UNC Wilmington. And I would meet them or I would reconnect or something would happen. We'd be in the same hometown around Christmas. And it was almost like they were still in college. We'd be dead on 27, 28 years old. And you see them, they're still dressed in flip-flops. Their hair's crazy. They got a collared shirt on and khaki shorts in the middle of winter. And you'd be like, hey, man, how you been? Oh, man, I've been living in Wilmington this whole time. And I'm like, did you graduate college? Yeah, it took me 5-6 years, but I graduated. I'm just working as a waiter or something ridiculous. And you'd be like, what? Because they've been at the beach. They've been at college and they now are just in this coasting phase of beach and college. And they've let years of their life go by. This is why you have so much frustration on the internet, because people wake up because they've been goofing off for years. And now they're frustrated because the pandemic came and they can't goof off anymore. They had to move back in their parents' house and they can't goof off anymore. They're homeless now and they had to go back home because they can't goof off anymore. And people say, Ericka, it's the economy. No, your life shouldn't fall apart from one hiccup. Usually it takes several hiccups to get your life falling apart. A lot of the argument you hear online is, well, I got divorced and I lost everything. And I go, no, let's really re-examine your life. If you only had $20 in your Edward Jones account and one house and one car and she got a car, y'all didn't have anything. Y'all didn't have anything to split. The kids need somewhere to live, so she got the house. I've seen judges actually make the woman sell the house too. I've had a cousin get divorced and the judge was like, listen, y'all doing too much. Sell the house, split the profits, move. So when trying to be nice here, but what I want to understand is the reason y'all are suffering with getting to an abundance mindset is you won't have any rejection. You won't try anything new. You won't start a new plan. Well, somebody might see me do that. I don't care. I went to a free karate class and I'm grown as can be up in the karate class. Like, what's up? I'm in here. What's up? And people were like, Ericka, that's goofy. For why? I feel like that when I go to my motorcycle classes. I feel like that when I go to my pilot classes. You should be challenging yourself to something new. You should not still be the same person for 10, 12, 15 years that's not growing, not changing, just floating downstream. That's a terrible way to live. Absolutely terrible. So again, that was the number one, how to deal with rejection. And if you like the content so far, drop a 1 in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Number 2, emotional intelligence. It goes with the dealing with rejection. Emotional intelligence. And this is very accurate. If you guys know engineers, and this is a running joke, you're like, that dude's a little on the spectrum there, right? A lot of times they hire, one of the jobs I was trying to apply for here in Austin, Texas was at Dale, was a social party coordinator. Now you're like, man, the company has so much money that they can hire a social coordinator. No, the company had so much money that they needed someone to create events for the engineers to communicate with themselves, with each other, so they felt like they had community at work. Because they barely talk to each other. So you literally can tell people's emotional intelligence is so stunted that they're in these close working conditions and they don't even talk to each other. Like, period. And so that company had money to spend there. You can go look up articles right now in China. They actually spend money bringing women in to cheer up the men at work because they felt like the people were so depressed and suicide rates were high that they literally flew in women from the Philippines and China. They literally walk around like cheerleaders, like, hi, how are you doing? Now, we already know China got shortage on women. It's another story for another day. But you also have these women just interacting with these men. People need each other. I know we're out here in this internet world and everybody's pointing fingers, and it's easy to do that when we're side by side, but not truly interacting with each other, right? I can easily be mad at somebody I barely know, but I'm not truly interacting with. Okay, I hope that made sense. So emotional intelligence, a lot of you will be at a workplace and you don't get promoted, you don't get high, you don't get boosted up, your sales are low. Why? Emotional intelligence. Now, something people eventually will do a theory on, I think, is back in the 1980s and 1970s, you could be a man and be low on emotional intelligence. Shit, you could even be Ike Turner and you could have a wife and have a kids and go on and have a life. It is what it is. But without that emotional intelligence to read signals, to read cues, that's why you have so many of these pickup artists. That's why you have so many people like coaching people how to get jobs. That's why you have SNS Consulting, Mentor Shelley, to help you even go do an interview. I remember I interviewed one time and this guy says, you probably interview well. You have the kind of personality that interviews well, even if you don't fit the job. And I laughed a little bit when he said that, but I thought that's because I'm comfortable talking to people. I'm a military kid. I've moved around multiple cities. I know how to talk to people. I know how to interact with people. People will see me around with no mask on in Austin. And I go, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Hey, how you doing? And it drops a little bit of that tension from these mask folks because they realize I'm just a person. I'm not someone that you need to fight with. I'm not someone that needs to, oh, you don't have a mask on. Oh my God. Oh. I'm a person, you're a person. Take it down a notch. But see, they don't have enough emotional intelligence sometimes to realize and feel that friction and diffuse it, right? I mean, the same thing, I'll hear somebody hollering and I'm like, it's a call, well, there's a thing called mirroring. And you can read on this on your own, but even a monkey can mirror you. Instead, you go to an event, you go, hey, I'm Ericka. They tell you your name, and then they say, what do you do for a living? Oh, I do this, and you do that for a living. Oh, how's your week going? And they tell you, and then if they don't respond back, that's simple mirroring. That's emotional intelligence. I know people just got on Sharon Osbourne because she was on the show, and Cheryl Underwood trying to give her that T-ball and said, hey, you're my friend, Sharon. Sharon Osbourne, so mad, didn't respond back, and everybody said, see that? She didn't respond back and say, you're her friend as well. Look how bad that is. Now, that woman was in the middle of anger and could have done it better. But now Sharon Underwood's going to have television networks owe her millions of dollars. If she sues tomorrow for emotional distress, she'll get it. She'll get it. It's live on air. People have recorded this. There's a great YouTube channel where the guy talks about body language and how, and TD Jake says this too, when you're married, and again, I'm not married, I don't want nobody to give me no hard time, you don't lose people. It's like riding a motorcycle. You don't lose people in the straightaways, in the easies of life. You lose people in the turns. It's like riding a motorcycle. People crash in the turns the most. When you just ride straight down the highway, you're good. You're good. But when all of a sudden you need to turn right, or you need to turn left, or you need to watch out for other people, that's where you lose people. In relationships, in business, in life, is in the turns. I had a friend, I don't like going to funerals. I just have a bad anxiety about going to funerals. And I had a friend whose father died, and I didn't go to that funeral. They didn't say anything, but the husband said, that's really foul. You didn't go to that funeral. I had to have the emotional intelligence to say, hey, I have personal anxiety issues at funerals. Makes me very uncomfortable to be there. I can go to the gravesite, but I can't go to the service. It's too upsetting for me. I did not mean that personally to you. And a lot of that calm dropped away. A lot of that anger. You have to have enough emotional intelligence to talk to people and convey your emotions, what's going on with you, so you don't lose people in the turns of life. That's what happens. A lot of people lose people in the turns of life and they don't understand what happened, right? People want to be teenagers or young 20s forever, not realizing, hey, girl, you got to take them skinny jeans off. You got to take them FUBU pants off. You got to take that bad eyeliner off. You have to turn in life. You have to dress your age. You have to go according to what's going on with your body, right? So again, that's emotional intelligence. Purple taught me too. Listen, I'm telling you, I have a really bad thing. Number 3, mind your own business. Now, what do I mean, mind your own business? Number 3 is mind your own business. When I see people out here, and prime example, again, let's go back to dealing with rejection. I will ask somebody, hey, why don't you start your own business, man? You got all those skills. Oh, I don't want to chase clients. I don't want to chase payments. I don't want to do this. And what I hear is I'm afraid of rejection and no. And then when I say, but you're willing to go to hundreds of job interviews, you're willing to sit on Indeed.com every day applying for jobs that you're more qualified for. Excuse me, hold on. Okay, we might have to wrap it up a little bit. And when I said that to them, I said, write on a piece of paper all the skills you have and everything you did for that last company. And when they finally wrote it out, they're like, oh, I can do consulting by myself. And I said, duh, bingo, duh. You can go on LinkedIn right now and reach out to all the companies that you used to work with. You don't have to go get another job that you don't like, where you're not valued, you're not appreciated. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is if you're in the 45, I'm being very honest here. If you're 45 years old to 62 years old, companies are starting to be like, I need the experience, but I ain't trying to pay them nothing. They rather deal with a flaky millennial, which I take credibility for our group, who may not show up on time because they think they can pay them less and they can teach them more. Okay? Now, just to clarify one more time, because a lot of young men come into the chat and get mad at me. If you're a Gen Z, you're 22 years old or younger. That means you're in college or you're in high school. Don't come on here 30, 31 years old talking about you Gen Z. If you're a millennial, you're 23 to 39 years old. If you're Gen X, you're 40 to 59 years old. And if you're older than that, you're a boomer. Now today, on the other channel, I was talking to Diamond Dave, and I was like, man, the lady who's over ARC, man, they love her. And they were like, Kathy Wood? How old is she? We were trying to figure out. We're like, she's a Gen X, man. She's probably 40 something. They're like, Kathy Wood, 65 years old. She's a boomer. But marketing wise, emotional intelligence wise, she appeals to late millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers. Because she doesn't look like Martin Sheen off Wolf of Wall Street, right? She doesn't look like, or was it Charlie Sheen? It was Charlie Sheen. She doesn't look like greedy hedge fund guys. She looks like somebody's mom. She looks like a school teacher who's like, this is what I saw and I did the math and it's pretty good. We even talked about the fact that the hedge fund's only managing $100 million in assets. BlackRock and all these big boy companies are managing billions. But people are looking to this woman as a sign of the market. Why? Because she had the emotional intelligence and she minds her own business, right? Because if she goes, I'm little old Kathy and they got $7 billion, I just can't compete. That's crazy. No, she minds her own business. She minds her own business, okay? I don't have COVID. Chill out, y'all. Chill out. I've already been tested. It's a negative. It's called sinuses. It's called it's springtime. It's called I travel. Again, mind your own business. Hey. All right. So, so mind your own business is essentially, when I did the show the other day about number one reason why businesses fail is people don't know their numbers. This goes for the average American as well. This is why Dave Ramsey is so revolutionary. He tells you to pull out your bank statement and review it. I tell people to do that daily. Listen, go in your bank and look over your stuff. If you're a husband and wife team with separate accounts, y'all need to be pulling together 2 accounts and looking at them at least once a month together. You can't be having a husband over here poker gambling for 3 months straight and you a wife just saving your pennies like, hey, what happened? Y'all are not communicating. Y'all are not minding y'all own business, which is the business of you two together. And so when I talk about minding your own business, you got to know your numbers better than anybody. You got to know what makes a sale more than anybody. And you've got to have the confidence to invest in yourself. Okay? Number 4, right? Which I'm going to skip this one and come back to the end. Innovation is not always liked. Innovation is not always liked. Now, prime example, banks don't like Bitcoin, and they certainly don't like fintechs like PayPal and Stripe and what's the other company that's really good? Square. They don't like a lot of U.S. credit. A couple of the ones that are fintechs that are popular that took in billions of dollars for PPP. Banks don't like it because they show them where they're sluggish and slow and too much overhead. It's called innovation. It's called being light, being nimble. Taxis don't like Ubers, okay? Bookstores don't like Amazon. Hotels certainly don't like Airbnbs. There are lawsuits in almost every city in the United States right now. Cinemas don't like Netflix, even though they cannot. They have two completely different experiences, right? 9-to-5s don't like remote. I can tell you personally this year when I was like 9 to 5, if you're in here, you need to come in here. You need to be in my office. If I'm paying you, you need to be in this office because I need to be able to track what you're doing. And then I realized, you know what? That's anybody, right? That's anybody. I cannot force another human being to do quality work anywhere in this world. Like, I don't even mean at your job, I mean anywhere, right? You could be like, hey, you're a half owner of this company and somebody still will do less than quality work, right? So you have to get with innovation enough to go, 1, screenshot, monitor. I can see what you're doing on your screen. And 2 is you task them to death if you have to. I know that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible if you're an employee, but if you're a business owner, listen to me. Task them to death. Make so many tasks that you're like, oh my God, I'm sick of this woman. Because at one point they will do what? They will get innovative enough to finish the task at a faster pace or let you know, hey, we're going to get this done next Tuesday. This is too much for this way. And that's why you see VAs. That's why you see a lot of companies hiring out because they're able to work with people who can know how to do tasks. I think they gave me regular milk. I can't taste anything because of my sinuses. Okay, I just flew in Florida and they were twerking in the air everywhere. Aaron can tell you there was so much twerk dust in the air. I think it made my sinuses messed up. We're out there, it was too much. Y'all need to calm down in Florida. So again, innovation is not always liked, okay? Projecting insecurities. So there's a lot of projecting insecurities on the internet. Let me start with one. I got a message from a young man, and he may see this, and I'm going to use you as an example for a while, so get on board with it. And he said, well, you, and I don't even need to read it to know. He said, you don't like black men with tattoos and dreadlocks, and you don't think we can get ahead, and that's Negro peeing of you. And I said, where did you get that from? What video did I say such things? I'm looking, I'm like, what video did I didn't say it. That's just it. You know what I did say? I went and looked back at the video. I like clean-cut guys with not a lot of tattoos because I come from a cop and military family. And he took that as I hate men with tattoos and dreadlocks. Now, if you guys can find me a video where I'm talking crazy about people with tattoos and dreadlocks, please send it to me. I would love to correct myself. But literally, he turned this conversation in his head into I hate black men, which is, I don't know how, because my cousin, who is in North Carolina, runs one of our real estate operations, has dreadlocks down to here. Dreadlocks down to here. Very neat. Dreadlocks down to here. Then we have another cousin with a long Indian braid with a feather on the end of it. So I don't know how he came to that conclusion, right? It's kind of weird because I didn't say you couldn't be professional. I didn't say you couldn't win in this world. I didn't say you couldn't make millions of dollars. I just said I desire clean-cut men with a fade. like 1980s. Fade. Right? So again, you have to listen. People hear, there you go. People people absolutely hear what they want, and they project their insecurities on you. He's thinking from this space. He's living around people that would call me a Negro peon, even though we're grown adults. And listen, Tariq Nasheed, I support his channel. I support a lot of these people's channels that people think, right, are radical, because that's their right to say what they want and be authentic. You know, that, listen, I'm not going to get into that one. I'm not going to get into that. Right? People, policy. Yeah, again, how can I tell you that you're not going to make it? That doesn't make sense. Why would I tell you you're not going to make it, brother? That doesn't make sense. If you're watching this channel, we're talking about making it. We're talking about being the vortex of abundance. There's no limit on the money you can make out here. I just finished going to several conferences where there are 20, 30 Black people with businesses you've never heard of on the internet, not stunting, not wilding for the gram, just regular old suburban Black people making a lot of money. And so I think we get into these echo chambers, and it projects what? Our insecurities. Well, you know, Kanye West song, get on and get a white girl, whatever it is that you focus on, you're going to bring more to your life. So if you focus on baby mamas and out of shape women and terrible things, guess what's going to come more to your life? That. If you focus on men ain't nothing and they ain't no good jobs out here, Ericka, and I can't get ahead, guess what you just spoke into your world? More of that. More of that. I spoke to my whole staff today. We went online. We did a lot of Zoom calls all today. And I said, listen, I'm getting better. And next week, I'm going to be even better. And then I plan on doing this on Monday and this on Wednesday. And I got to fly to Detroit. And then I got to fly to Atlanta because next week I'm going to be better. I didn't say, well, you know, I just don't know. I feel so bad. I don't know if I'm going to fly. I didn't do that because I didn't want to speak it into my existence. Okay? I got all this Dr. Seba in me right now. It's just making me cough. And black seed oil, right? So your body could just be detoxing and sending you on your way. But see, people out here like, well, you know, I could be worse. I could be sicker. I don't think like that because I don't want to bring that into my life, right? I jokingly say I have no problems with cops. I have no problems with speeding tickets because I used to be a real bad speeder. And I know y'all like Ericka on the woo-woo stuff, but I want you to understand, you guys draw what's around you to what's around you, right? I stopped going to this one restaurant and we went there. When I came back in town, my friends were like, please come. And I'm like kind of half sick before I got real sick. And we go in there and the guy's like, Ericka, we haven't seen you in forever. And I'm like, oh, it's just so nutrient dense. I can't eat it that often. I have to eat it less. Hadn't been there in months. But they had remembered me because I was always eating there, right? So in order to have new things, you have to do new things. That means you can't eat at those same old restaurants anymore. You can't do all the same old stuff anymore, right? I bought a walking treadmill for my apartment, and my trainer's like, you done put a treadmill in your apartment? You already got a bike. I said, yeah, but this treadmill's this big, and I can just move the elevator desk up, and I can walk, and I can type. Because I've been tracking how long I sit at a desk, and it ended up being 4 hours on average. Oh, that's no good for us. Now, we ain't no Eric hip hopper preacher Thomas. We ain't gonna be up at 3 a.m. walking on the treadmill. That is not happening. But we will for an hour or two walk on this treadmill to help ourselves get better, right? Okay. And so again, innovation is not always liked, and people will project their insecurities. Okay. So again, when I talk to, and I think I talked about it the other day, it's when I see young people who are like, I just can't find a job. And I go, but you spend all these hours on this man's YouTube. You can't find a way to do a mobile notary, something, loan officer online. They ain't got to see your face. You just got to be trained how to answer the phone, put on a headset, knock it out. You're just collecting data, right? So if you're in the Rise 20%, you'll see some of the, we have 50 new coaches coming on in Rise Percent Part 2 who are just going to just lay you flat, man. You're getting at least, I think, 190 hours of coaching. You guys are getting super blessed at such a low price, right? And so what you have to do is once you know something, you can do better, right? A lot of times I hear people say, well, Ericka, there's so many things out there. I don't know what to do. Stop. Pick one and move forward. Once you move forward in that one thing, you know if it works or if it don't work. You know how you'll know? Go back to the previous answer, mind your own business, which means mind your numbers. You'll see if it works, if it changes your life. See, a lot of times you see people who are wholesalers and they go on to do all kind of things, you know, home appraisers, inspections, construction companies, all these other things. Why? Because they did what? They became ingrained in their community. Everybody knows them. Oh, that's that guy knocking doors. That's that guy calling around for homes. That's the guy calling around contractors to see how much it costs to fix this house, right? That's what that person becomes. So in the process of them wholesaling, they become a whole nother elevated person of more value. They're not some kid just knocking doors trying to get a home for discount. They become a guy who knows 100 contractors. They become a guy who knows the price of wood and appraising and this and that. And they can go switch into other careers and make more money. They can go be a loan officer. They can go do other stuff because they did what? Mind their business, put their head down, face rejection, where people will say, no, I don't want to sell you my house, or hang up on you on the phone. And they've had enough emotional intelligence to know how to work with different types of people that they elevate and become someone else, a person of higher value, right? And people don't like when I use the word higher value. You all send me some emails. Yes, there are people who are a higher value. There are people who are just sitting in a chair, breathing air, playing video games all day. There are people of higher value. Don't take it personal, okay? Okay, taking a deep breath here. All right, so I think my next biggest point I had on this paper is employment and retirement versus entrepreneurship. So a lot of people are like, here's the safe, stable road. I'm going to work for this many years and then I'm going to retire. What you'll learn as you talk to more and more adults, what is retirement? You never fully retire. Have you ever seen grandparents? You got grandparents raising grandchildren. You got them taking them on school buses, taking them everywhere. You got them working around doing this. You got them still running around and doing stuff for the younger children they have. You have people in the squeeze generation taking care of their elderly parents. You never fully retire. And so this employment retirement mentality is very binary, right? Even when you talk to people in the Midwest, well, you used to be able to work at the plant for 20 years and then you'd be done. And do what for the next 20 years? If you really go back and look at companies that offered pensions, and you actually go look at the data, a lot of your daddies and granddaddies, and there's no disrespect, they died early, 55, 60, 62. They was chain smoking all day. You know, oh, Big Papa, he died, you know, back then, and Grandma lived another 30 years. People did not live long. That's why they were able to offer those pensions like they were. But if you ever look at older people that lived a long life, and I'm just saying various people I know who grandparents had a farm or they had some mission and purpose to after retirement, those people lived like a long time. One of my aunts got married later in life. She had 4 adult children. She was a dentist on Fort Bragg, and she met a retiring soldier, and they got married. And they said, man, it's so shameful that we're older. We're in our 40s, 50s, maybe we won't have that much time together, maybe 20 years. He lived to be 94 years old. Sorry. They got 40 freaking years together. 40 freaking years together. I never saw that man without something else to do. He retired out of the military. Then he went and got another job at an office. Retired out of that. Went and was a coach at football games, basketball games. And he was bow-legged. And it was funny as a kid because you didn't realize, like, bow-legged people are referee sports. Then he went on to do another thing and another thing. And then when he got too old and something happened, they were still going on cruises. They were traveling. They were doing whatever for years. And this man was 10 years older than her, but in excellent, superior health. See, a lot of y'all online talking crazy about how you're going to date somebody 30 years younger than you, and you are not in any type of health to even live another 10 years. Okay? Y'all sound crazy. I've actually witnessed and watched people who live and love a long life be very active the whole time. There is no such thing as retirement. All the old people I've watched that say they're retired, if they don't find something to do in a year or two, their health declines. My mom got medically retired out of the military. She continues to go to school. She continues to do different things. She's even started another business. We've helped her start that business so she can keep her mind sharp. And her keep going, keep doing stuff. She's so young. You know, when people didn't realize the military, when these injuries happened, that people would live another 40 freaking years. Okay? So there really is none of this true retirement where you're just going to sit on your butt and goof off. There really isn't. And excuse me. Ooh, it's hurting. Ooh. Y'all out here cutting up? Man, y'all out here cutting up real bad. Let me just ignore all this. I'm ignoring all this because y'all are cutting up. Ooh, hold on. Let me we're gonna do a little video break for a second. All right, let me drink some water here.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Ericka from the Classy Climb blog. Number one thing people take for granted is service. We overlook it, we downplay it, but guess what? When it came to the Texas blizzard of 2021, plumbers, welders, construction guys are going to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. So listen, do you want to be a part of that service industry? Do you want to be able to manage teams of people to go out, even if you don't know how to do the skill, but can manage a team of people to do so and get the leads in? Definitely check out Middleman to Millions course. I'm actually out of the country right now, in Cabo, Mexico, enjoying it with my friends because I've almost, not 100%, automated that business to be useful, service others, and actually help clients get what they need. So check out more, swipe up.
Well, what's up? Listen, I know they be coming. Okay, anyway, long and the story short, I gotta stay focused. Y'all out here cutting up. So exactly, Warren Buffett eats, Donald Trump too, eating McDonald's every day, looking terrible. That's really people's dream. So anyway, what I was trying to say is this very tight definition of what retirement is and what work is. And I'm just going to work a little bit and then I get to sit down. The number one thing I hear in my consulting calls and when I talk to people is like, girl, I just want to do a business for like 2 years and then I'm going to sell it and then I'm going to do nothing. That 2 years will never come for them because the true nature of what they wanted, they've already told you. They want to do nothing. They want to be comfortable. They want to rock lower level existence. And so in order for them to ramp up a business, and I'm talking about like a startup, for 2 years where they're doing 18-hour days and they're 6 days a week and they're just, they're typing and they're doing everything and they're selling the t-shirt off their back to run ads and grow this thing so that they can turn around and sell it for 2 years. This is a dream. This is a dream. This is why all the startups were going crazy. And then all of a sudden guys were turning around and selling their companies to Facebook for $2 million. When you talk to the guy, you're like, don't you think your company's worth more than $2 million? Yeah, but they're burnt out because they had been investing, being inside of this thing, right? So a lot of times this very binary, like, well, if I've got to start a business, I want to sell it in 2-3 years and be done. It's very hard to change your stream, right? Again, like I was saying about the wholesalers, wholesaling is a very expensive job, right? And when that guy gets to a level of value where he knows everybody in town, he knows every contractor, he's got money in the bank, he doesn't just go, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to sit here and enjoy my money. No, he projects and goes on to the next thing. If you pay attention right now, sorry, you guys, I think we're going down. A few more minutes. We're going to do about 10 more minutes. So what ends up happening is when you're on an elevated plane of discovery, and money making. Even though people act like, oh, money's not that important. What do you go out of your house daily and struggle and go to work for? Money. Okay. So once you start getting to a certain level of certain income of money, you realize, okay, I'm done spending it on all these various things. I want to get to a higher vibrational plane of living and purpose-driven life. Right? And so that person keeps elevating. So this whole mindset that I'm going to do all this stuff and then I'm just going to stop the flow of vibration, the higher vibrational plane, is not true. That's why it's so hard for people when they start working out to really get in a rhythm and a habit of working out and really force yourself to do stuff you really don't want to do. That's why I got a personal trainer. And I was like, all right, I got to take it to the next level. Now I got a chef and we lost a few pounds. We got smaller pair of pants. We're like, okay, you have to almost get into a 180-degree difference of your life. Okay? You're on a vibrational plane. And if you stay like this, you're bound to go downward. There's nothing in our society that improves without what? Resistance, without a little push, without rejection, without course correction, without being made a little uncomfortable. There's nobody in our society that's successful without that. Not one person. So again, you got to let go of that employment. Oh, I just want to show up to a job, get paid. I'm tired of having to do all this work. Let me be very, very clear with you. And I say this to my entrepreneurship people. If you want to start, cleaning business is one of the easiest you can do because anybody can clean. But when you start going past certain construction size and levels of general contracting, or even some of the truck driving, like there's so many things I can say about truck driving. Whew, you're going to have to invest in people getting trained up. You know why? There's such a labor of unskilled labor. And I know everybody hates this word. They hate the word unskilled labor. But we have 31 million people that are in the trades that are so old, they want to go home. But they can't go home because there's not 31 million trained people following them. There's 2 nurses retiring for every one coming in the field. And that's because the way they did the nursing bottleneck. Because at one point in time in society, there were going to be more doctors than nurses. So they bottlenecked the doctor industry and the nursing industry. Well, now that was an absolute massive mistake looking back because the baby boom generation was so freaking big. At some point, you were going to need a ton of doctors and nurses to care for them. So what people have to understand is like on that plane of entrepreneurship and employment, like I'm just going to show up to a job and get paid. Yeah, you can show up to a job and get paid and then looked up in a couple of years till you out of a job. And now those skills are out of commission. You're going to go to a new company that's going to require even more of you. So a lot of people are afraid to start their own companies. And I'm like, I don't know why. Because of responsibility. And owning the business will make you have to be at a higher vibration that maybe some of you aren't willing for. There's a lot of people who just want a big booty Betty party and chill out every weekend. And you know how I know that's true? When I was in Florida, I saw a lot of 40, 50-year-olds out there. Ericka, you don't know if they was 40. They might just be age back. No, they was 40. They was 40 and 50 and gray and out there in the Gucci slides and riding on 4-wheelers. They was out there. But I was also at an event in the room. This is amazingly high. Conversations, talking points. Look, there were young people in the room, had just started their business. And they were talking with people and talking with me and A1. They were just in awe because they were like, wow, you're really kicking it. You're really doing these things, right? You're going to have that happen even more in the future. We're going to be 450,000 diesel mechanics short in about 10 years. We're already 31 million short of trades. We're already, I think it's 150,000 short of just every field you can think of. We're short. So these companies are going to have to take, I'm being nice, these 20 to 30-year-old people and train them. The Army already has the oldest generation of people joining the Army right now. Don't believe me? Go Google joining the Army at 35, joining the Army at 39 years old to make the cutoff. It's a very trending video on YouTube. There's several people, hundreds of channels. There's several YouTubers I personally know who went and joined the military, joined it. First time joining, 35 years old, 33 years old, 34 years old. Pretty girls, some of them beautiful girls, joining the Army. because they didn't do the math. They didn't mind their business enough to grow their YouTube channel to know, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, so I can have steady income, or I need to marry some man. That's what some of them have said. Well, I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to do that, so I'm just going to join the Army. And in 20 years, it'll give me a pension, girl. The Army don't even work like that no more. The Army is now matching you dollar for dollar. So now in your whole 20 years you're working, you're going to have to put $100 to $200 of every paycheck where they don't even pay you that much in to get something out. The Army don't even work that way no more, right? And there's several people who went through the old Army and get $3,000 a month, and people like, that ain't no money. Tell me right now, tell that to somebody who's 70 years old and having to go out and get a job, that $3,000 ain't no money. So there you go. Apply. I mean, I'm telling you, listen, you're going to have to train people. Put on juvenile, man. Oh, yeah, the bottleneck in nursing is absolutely a crime. How they become bottlenecks. So in the 1950s and 1960s, we had all these. I'm trying to give you a short answer. In the 1960s, we had a lot of the regional medical hospitals, which were the mental asylums. And we had all this medical staff taking up all its time at the mental health hospitals. And so your JFK started defunding. I know, right? The Democrat. JFK started defunding the mental health hospitals and saying, hey, the smaller regions can handle that because we're short on doctors. And the medical police school places said, listen, if we don't slow down making doctors, we're going to be like Cuba, where there's so many doctors, they're driving taxi cabs, not knowing Cuba had its own issues. Okay, just saying that. So they started bottlenecking and raising the requirements. This also hurt the Black community because you had so many people who went into the Army for the GI Bill, for World War I, World War II, Korean War, and we're coming back to be what? Doctors. If you actually go look up New York, DC, and North Carolina in the 1960s and 70s, you had the highest number of Black doctors in America, all over every state, most of the East Coast, but the East Coast areas, servicing Black people. So when that bottleneck happened after JFK in the late 60s and 70s, all of a sudden it started to be this trickle. And then in the 80s and 90s, you didn't have enough Black doctors. You didn't have Black hospitals anymore because of desegregation. And now we find ourselves here scrambling to shove doctors through programs. Historically, Black schools still produce the most doctors in America. My friend went to UCLA. He was the only Black kid there. Out of 122 candidates, 2 other guys were white, and the rest of them were all Asian or Indian with a dot. So we have issues that will go for the future, a long time. We've messed up nursing, and it will take years. We import about 30 to 70,000 Filipino nurses every couple of years. So, especially in California. So here's the thing, self-love. Here's somebody coming in with the negative vibration. I want my days off. Who's to say business owners don't have their days off? Who's to say business owners don't have a structured 9 to 5? Do you know how many people I know that are insurance business owners don't work on the weekends? How many people I know that are business owners, they don't work on the weekends and they actually work 4 days a week? I know a chiropractor right now only works 4 days a week. I know a dentist only works 2 days a week. Other people in his staff do the work. See, again, this is that limiting belief. Your operational lid is low. This is a channel of abundance. This is a channel of more. I want my days off mean I just want to show up, give me my check, and I'm going to go home and chill. It's Operation Limited Belief. Again, and I want you guys to go, don't take my word on it. I want you to go research this. Many companies are shifting Americans to the 1099 model. They will not be paying for any of your benefits. They will not do anything but train you and constantly put you through training, and you will work, and that's all. And you will not have many benefits. You will not have a lot of pay. So again, when people say, oh, who wants to run their own business? Everybody runs their own business. That's a limiting belief. There's 330 million Americans in America. Only Less than 10%. That means 31 million businesses in America. So that means less than 10% of us, even out of the population, own a business. And then out of the 31 million, 24 million are small businesses that have one or no employees. So it's a very small population that hires a lot of folk. So when people say, well, I don't know, everybody want to run a business, that's insane just to even say it out of your mouth. That's some old Junebug 1970s. Everybody can't have a business because, then who run the business? Who gonna work? That's a limiting belief. I want you to really say it out loud to yourself. That's a limiting belief. It's never been more than 10% of our society that's ever owned businesses. Everybody. 1 in 10 Asians own a business in America. 1 in 34 whites. 1 in 54 Hispanics. And 1 in 108 blacks. So just saying that sounds hilarious to me because you don't even know the numbers for our society that most people will never own a business. They'll always go apply for a job, even if it hurts them, even if it's not in their best interest, even if they'll sit on unemployment for a year waiting for the government to give them $1,400 check. That is such a low vibrational thought that it just shakes my mind to the core that someone could think it. This is very common in the Black community. Well, we all can't be chiefs. Some of us got to be Indians. That's the problem. You're out here begging someone to put it in your hand, and they don't like you. They don't want to deal with you, and you're not skilled in what they need. When I went to Miami, Uber game locked to all Hispanic drivers. Hotels locked, all Hispanic people at the front desk. Inside the banks, all Hispanic people. Inside the restaurants, all Hispanic people. I saw maybe 1 or 2 black guys that were security at the door. Security, here, you come in. Saw 1 or 2 guys security on South Beach. 1 or 2 black police officers. You will not live in these cities. There's no room for you. You have to think higher. And that's no disrespect. If you love this channel, great. But every time I hear this, I kind of laugh because I have friends that's all they've been doing this year since the pandemic is vacationing, and they're scared to put it up on Instagram, and they're scared to put it up on Facebook because the people are suffering, Ericka. So true people who are really living their best life don't even show you that. Majority of the Black business owners I meet are not even on Instagram. They're being low profile because Black people hate on them. And this happens in white and Hispanic communities too. I'm not trying to, listen, I've got a friend, he says whenever he's vacationing, his daddy's like, you should be working harder. He's like, Dad, we work hard all the time. His dad's like 50 years old. And it's like, you should be working more. You'll always have that, people in society. You'll always have that. And I don't mean to go on a rant, but I want you to understand when you say that, that's like saying, I am not smart enough to craft a business of my own skills so that I can have 2 vacations a year that 90% of Americans don't even take the 2 weeks with my wife and children or my husband and children. I don't know if you're a woman or man. This is a very limiting mindset. You should really examine it when you say it out loud because you're putting it out in the ecosphere and it's disrupting my soul. It's like immediately like, ooh, please don't put that on my wall. It's terrible. Sorry, I had to go on a rant there. It's disrupting me. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I can't even, let's see. You have to stay away from low vibrational people. They will tell you some stuff and you be looking at them like, man, if you don't get on out of here. I actually take black seed in a tablet. I do have the black seed oil, but it's terrible. They really do, girl. They do. Some of the conversation here I'm completely ignoring. Just not even focused on the channel, not even focused on the conversation. They come here to talk in the conversation, and I get it. I get it. Have a great day. You must have a higher purpose, y'all. She said 40 is supposed to be the best years of your life. Some people look like they need a cane, Ben Gay for their kneecaps. This is very true. Nursing, I've seen 95-year-old nurses. They don't even go home. It's crazy. You know what? And he'll be probably more of a hard worker because this is his second career, or he really needs a job. Systems. It really is. It's about structuring. Like even now, I had to do a lot of structuring so that I can take 90 days off and only do a live once here, once there, once here, and have all this pre-recorded content come out for you guys. Cross-training, exactly. Thank you. Ping, 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 Janice. Yep. That's right. Oh, y'all, I think we're going to wrap it up here. FedEx, woo, customer service. It may be. It may be. Theory of revenue. How do we get leads? Easy. Lead generation. If you want to learn more, join the Ride 20% class before it goes up 10x the price it is now. Get 50% off with coupon code New Life. It goes up on April 24th. I don't want to hear no sob stories. There's no more coupon codes on the whole channel after April 24th because of a partnership we put together in Florida, and I'm super excited about it. Lots of beautiful changes coming. 50 new coaches coming to Ride 20%. You're getting like $190,000 worth of training. You add up everybody's coaching fees and costs, you're getting a lot of training. You're also getting lots of, I think, 20 downloadable assets. You're getting an additional, I can't even tell y'all that part. But anyway, you'll see it, a Million Loom video, private YouTube, the private Facebook group, also getting multiple trainings inside there because we had so many coaches that couldn't fit inside the course. We're going to bring them inside the live Facebook group. So you want to make sure you're in there. If you missed the live Facebook group, I will put it inside the course again. But there's so much coming that like, yo, this guy was like, this is $7,000 course. I'm like, I know, but I give it to the people. And in a couple of years when I raise the price, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing again. Because April 24th, if it goes up, I don't want to hear anything. People give me their first word problems. Listen, they have it. I'm here to listen, not to chat. Thank you. Put it one in the comments. I love that. Oh, thank you. Listen. Hey, thank you, Joseph. AM1 take. Look at that testimonial. Apply, Joseph. You know what? Listen. Email staff at classyclimbtx.com. We'll do a little 5-minute, little talk with you for free. Hey, Team Gemini. I heard Gemini's cut up. Okay. Congrats, Joseph. Gen X have to have the work ethic. Our boober parents weren't going for that. Chilling. I had my first job at 13 during the summer. Powerful reasons. Activate emotion, energy for motion. Tap strong reasons. Why are they powerful for you? The more personal, the better. Exactly. Bing, 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 bing. Listen. When someone says, oh, I want to do this, I go, why? Because I want to do this. Why? And you need to ask why about 4 or 5 times inside your business. Thank you so much, Sherry, the business plan runner. Listen, people have to do what they have to do. But what hurts my heart when I see young men out here, and young women too, having to overcome rejection of 1, how they look, 2, the hair that comes out of their freaking head, to get into the company when there's all this information out here and you can follow step by step and make income and not be beholden to somebody controlling your paycheck. You know, this ain't the 1980s and 1990s where you're in a small town and nobody gives you a shot and you have to move away to get a shot somewhere. You can go just about anywhere with a laptop and your phone if you, one, know how to deal with rejection, 2, emotional intelligence, 3, mind your own business, number 4, innovation is not always liked, 5, don't let people project their insecurities on you. I just had to go through that. Where do you buy the course? Classy Climbers. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, I gotta go. This is wearing me out. ClassyClimbers.com. The coupon code is New Life, 50% off. The 24th it goes up. That's the website, the Classy Climbers. Yeah, I gotta go, y'all. It's going down. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. Okay, I'm done. We're done. Congratulations, Elegant Plumber. Listen, come talk to me. Staff here. Also, email here if you can't find it. Classy Climb. For those of you I told to email me right here. Email me here, Elegant Plumber. Message the staff and see I messaged Ericka during the live. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love for you to come on and talk on one of the shows. So you guys, this girl, this is Ericka Williams, Classy Climb blog. Listen, April 24th, Raja 20% part 2 coming out, and the YouTube course part 2 is coming out. YouTube class part 2 will have more ad advertising. We will show you step by step what we're using on the channel and what our friends are using that have made $8 million. We're also going to show you step by step some of the stuff we're doing for our other channels. There's a whole nother channel I haven't told you guys about, but you'll see more as the year goes by. Then also the Route 20% too, we're updating the landing page so you guys should see a lot of what is going to be offered in the course. I think you'll be super happy about it. We're super happy about the 50 new coaches we have coming in, and we're going to get a hot toddy for the body and knock it out, y'all. You guys, this is your girl Ericka. Have a wonderful night. Thank you.